Here we are again, right where we left off. If you've watched the first part, if you haven't, I kind of recommend it. You know where we actually are and how we lost to arena runs and kind of what an arena is and that kind of general stuff. Anyway, onwards to victory or probably defeat. Most likely defeat because I'm not going too well and my deck in arena sucks like usual. Anyway, on to the topic of what I'll be rambling about today, and that is ants. Might seem boring at first, but I actually kind of find them fascinating, especially certain ants I've came across. For example, in a previous house I lived in, I'll just call it, in fact, I'll just call it the yellow house. It's the general nickname I've given it because it was yellow, and it sucked. It had a mold problem. In the summers, or was that winters, one of the seasons, mold would just creep up from the wood and everything because the wood itself was moldy. So no matter how you cleaned, no matter how much you cleaned it, new mold would just keep appearing. It was kind of disgusting. Anyway, in that house, the ants that live there that I live with, I call the idiot ants because, well, they seemed like idiots. They would go inside to eat a rotten banana and would ignore the cockroach which had wandered over and died right near their hole, and also the sultanas I had dropped there in an effort to make them stop eating inside. Yeah, I really didn't get them. Neither do I get the ants that I'm living with right now. For example, they like most ants need water, except these ones. Okay, really don't get why didn't they attack this one? Oh, maybe they want to benefit from the health from it since it heals both players when it dies. Anyway, so as I was saying, the ants that I live near right now, they will go and drink water out of the toilet. So what they'll do is they'll like wander over to it and then crawl inside the bowl and like, kind of get up where the water comes out when you flush, which I don't get at all. I am a little too kind-hearted most of the time to go right ahead and just kill them by flushing it, but I don't get that at all since it regularly rains outside where they can collect the water, and also there's a pot plant outside that has been taken out of its pot because it has rained so much that otherwise it was going to get root rot, and they could just go and get that water. But instead, they decide to come inside through a little hole in the wall and drink that water instead. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe the reason they do this is because they have an ant colony inside the walls of the house. Some people would find it kind of freaky, but I really don't mind that, especially since they kind of wander around a certain area and generally not move away from it. Like, they don't bother me that much. They're not walking inside my computer and causing it to short out and stuff like that. I know some people just can't handle bugs and stuff, and I don't really blame you. Some people, like, if you have a phobia, it's not really something someone should laugh at because it's not like you can really control it. I mean, maybe you can deal with it better, but I'm saying it's not your fault if you're born with one. No one's fault, really. Yeah, also another fascinating thing about the ants that I'm around right now, these black ones, is that I'm not sure if it's two colonies, but they might be having a continuous war with each other because sometimes I'll see a black soldier ant, go and pick another black soldier ant up, which seems to be protesting, and even like just drag it by its feelers across the floor outside, and the other one would basically be wriggling. It would be wriggling so much, it's basically saying like, "Hey, put me down! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!" And I just I don't get what's happening. Are they disciplining it? Are they taking it to some kind of ant jail inside their hive? Are they going to cannibalize it? I don't know. It's kind of fascinating. I wish I knew what was going on. I also wish I could see inside their hives and such, because when it rains outside, it really rains lately. It's been really raining lately when it does. So the entire place gets flooded, and I really would love to see inside there and see just what kind of network they have to make sure the flooding does not kill their queen and such and drown them all. I mean, I can have a kind of really rough guess of what it is because I've seen videos about ant colonies where they've shown shown what the inside of it looks like and generally all the pipes and stuff they set up. But I'd really just want to take a look at this specific ant colony and see what they've done. It reminds me of another interesting thing I seen once, which was about how there was this certain ant colony, I forget exactly where, but it stretched over miles, and I'm pretty sure that it stretched over like a really it was really long, all the tunnels. Yet all the ants from two different places really far away would still treat each other as the same hive and not attack each other. I'd love to see that in action. Yeah, this minion here, Moat Lurker, it kills a minion, but when it dies, it gets resummoned. One thing I'm so glad the enemy hasn't done here, I'm not sure it's actually possible if they can do it also, is silencing it, because if they did, then I wouldn't get my minion back once it dies. But I'm pretty sure, like, I've noticed you can't really get that many cards with silence in Arena because it's randomly chosen what pops up, so I have a pretty good feeling that this here won't be silenced, which is what I want. I obviously don't want it to be silenced, otherwise I lose my minion. Ah, and for once this actually goes off on something that doesn't have one else. I am happy. Just remembering, just on the general topic of little stories and things of the past, I'm remembering about how I once had this calculator, and I didn't know that I kind of knew they could get crappy, but boy was this one crap. At first what would happen is the 8 didn't work, and then the 6 didn't work, and then in the end the entire thing just stopped working. I'm not sure if like the battery went acidic inside it and just ruined the entire thing or something else. But I wasn't that pleased since this was actually a prize I had saved up many AMF bowling tickets to win. If you don't know what those are, at the not so well kind of local bowling alley, it's kind of close to me. They have all these games you can play, and you'd win prize tickets for it. And for a ludicrous amount of prize tickets, like I'm pretty sure 1,400, I purchased this calculator, and then in the end it just stopped working. If you're wondering how I ever got that many prize tickets, there was this game they could play there, Deal or No Deal. Yeah, if you haven't seen the if you haven't seen any episodes of that, it's basically this game show where you start off with a briefcase. You get to choose a briefcase, and then you keep opening other briefcases, and you will receive amounts that they'll want to pay you for the briefcase you have. And what you're meant to do is try and leave the most money as possible. So, for example, if you go and pick the let's say you pick a $10,000 worth briefcase. Either what will happen is you end up opening all the briefcases in the game and saying no deal to each one of the offers they give you, and in the end you'll open your briefcase, in which case you get $10,000. Or you will say deal to one of the offers they present you, and then take home that amount of money instead. Yeah, I've seen some kind of, well, you kind of call it tragic, but at least the people had fun playing the game show. Some people would like leave with for example, $2 and such because they just picked really bad deals. And the game show host says at least you get a giant cardboard check, which I guess is true, but I'd still be kind of disappointed. If I went on that, I'd probably say deal to a really early amount. If I think I might like, just not push my luck at all. Like if they gave me 5,000 or 10,000, I'd be like deal, and they're like, sure you don't want more, and I just nod my head and say deal and just take all my money. And if I ended up having the really huge amounts like the $200,000, which is like the highest amount, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't feel like a loser at all because that would be a lot of money. A lot of money that I could stick in the bank and get interest. Yeah, I think I'd do that. I think I'd be one of those boring people. I wouldn't spend it on anything extravagant. Because if you do, generally the money seems to go away really fast if you do that. I forget how I even started talking about Deal No Deal. Oh well, when I rewatch this I'll know. Now she sounds like she's high on drugs. Maybe it's the crystals from Kazakus. Who knows, maybe you can smoke them, and maybe you're gonna grind them into a powder and smoke them. It's all fantasy stuff based in World of Warcraft. One of the other minions that has Wind Fury in this game, Alakir the Windlord, his quote is like squashing insects when you play him, except players usually attack so fast with him, his quote turns into like squashing insects. Like he can't, it's like he can't, he stutters or something. Like I just did just then. Yeah, this is starting to not look so good. I'm running out of minions and they just played the perfect spell to kill everything I have. Maybe I shouldn't have committed so much. The only thing that's slightly positive is that well, actually that is. But I have more cards in my hands, so eventually I will start winning a war of attrition against this person. Oh yeah, that just reminds me, War of Attrition, the words War of Attrition reminds me of another game I played at one point. Quite interesting. It was called Infinity Wars. The concept of it was kind of interesting, but I guess it was done before. But still, I liked the game a lot, but it ended up feeling too pay to win, like the people who had written Steam reviews about it said. So, what the game's lore is based on is basically all these portals opened up over different dimensions with different time periods, and then they would and then they all would just end up randomly fighting each other for different reasons, and the reasons they fought each other was actually quite cool and well explained. For instance, there was this one faction called the Flame Dawn, and they were just fanatical zealots based on conquest. So yeah, they would just go and attack everybody, and that was why they would constantly get into fights. They just picked them. And then there was this other faction called the Sleepers of Aardvark or something like that, which were basically a bunch of zombies. It's kind of space zombies. It was a kind of a computer virus zombies. That's the term. Yeah. And their homeworld got were infected by this computer virus, which turned them all into basically cyborg zombies. It actually started off by a mistake in this cybernetic implants, and then they would just go on to ravage heaps and heaps and heaps of worlds. And one of the effects of their cards is really interesting. It was as multiple copies of this card dies, it becomes stronger and stronger, which meant to represent the zombies slowly overwhelming the defenders' positions and killing them all, and just the general fear of an endless horde slowly seeping in as the defenders tire out. Although it didn't make much sense about how some new minion you played to the battlefield was suddenly tired and just despairing, especially when it was a giant robot, and you could go 1-to-1 with just a single zombie swarm that it could crush moments before. Yeah, so let's see what I get. Probably bugger all, since I only got one win. Yep, bugger all. But at least it's a card pack that I can open. Let's see what I get. Oh, nothing more than what the regular stuff, just one rare. Although these two cards are like quite a lot. Well, that's the arena done, so thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it all. Bye!